Hi, we have someone logged on as Sonoma County Democratic Party. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Public Utilities for the City of Santa Rosa to order. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Chair Galvin,
Here?
Vice Chair Arnone, Board Member Badenford,
Here.
Board Member Grable,
Here.
Board Member Walsh, Board Member Watts,
Here.
Board Member Wright.
Here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just a reminder, when you're not speaking, to please mute your phones or your microphones, and to please have your cell phones and personal computers stored away. I want to announce that we're going to pull from today's agenda items 7.1 and 7.2. Staff and myself both felt that these items were too important to not have the input for the full board. So with two of our members missing today, we're going to continue it, and it'll likely be on the November 18th agenda. Are there any statements of abstention by board members? Okay, we have no study session. Next item is the approval of the minutes for October 21st. We're now taking public comments on the minutes approval. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Secretary Atha?
We have no public comments.
And we have no in-person attendees, so we're good there, and those minutes will be approved. We'll move to item 5.1, which is our water supply update. Director Burke?
Thank you, Chair Galvin and members of the board. Item 5.1 is our water supply update, and Claire Nordley, our water use efficiency coordinator, will be making the presentation.
Good afternoon, Chair Galvin, members of the board. I'm going to be presenting the water supply update. Next slide, please. Next slide advancing. Thank you. So we got a wonderful storm in late October that has definitely helped our water year. As you can see from the very first table, the current rainfall for the water year starting in October has put us over 700% of our normal water supply conditions so far for this year in Santa Rosa, and in Ukiah over 400% of normal. So this is really exciting. Obviously, this storm was not a drought buster, but it is really exciting that we have received such significant rainfall so far this year. The second table on the screen is actually our rainfall from last water year, I should say. And as you can see, we received almost all of the rainfall that we received last water year in this one storm in October. So really significant rainfall that we saw, but we will talk about what our response is in response to this storm. Next slide, please. So due to this early storm and the natural flows that returned to the Russian River, the State Water Resources Control Board modified Sonoma Water's temporary urgency change order. And this resulted in two separate changes. One is that it ended the water rights curtailment to the Russian River, and it removed the 20% reduction in diversion requirement. However, that does not mean that we are out of the drought. Sonoma Water is still requiring us water contractors to implement our water shortage contingency plans, and that is consistent with the governor's October 19th extended drought emergency proclamation. Next slide. So
Chair Galvin, pardon the interruption, Chair Galvin. I'm hearing that we're having some difficulty hearing Claire. Claire, is there any way that you can increase your volume, or I'm hearing from some folks that they're having a hard time hearing you through the Zoom.
Okay. Let me see if there's a way. Is that better?
Keep talking.
Can you hear me better now? I've turned up the
That sounds a little better, yes.
A little better? Okay. I can also just scream louder into the mic.
Thank you.
Sure. Sorry about that. So this slide explains the governor's October 19th drought proclamation. This proclamation expanded the drought emergency statewide. It included 8 additional counties, mostly in Southern California, but it also included San Francisco. And it does require that local water suppliers implement their water shortage contingency plan in response to whatever the local conditions are. So this allows us the flexibility to implement our water shortage contingency plan and continue in a stage 3 of our current stage. Next slide, please. So this is in response to the modified temporary urgency change order. Reservoirs levels are still very low compared to historical operations. And I really want to emphasize, the drought is not over. We are still requesting a 20% mandatory conservation rate from all of our customers. And like I said, Sonoma Water is still requesting continued efforts for us and all of the water contractors to meet the May 2021 Water Advisory Committee resolution to achieve 20% reduction. We can also use this opportunity to backfill our reservoirs or for resting our groundwater wells while, again, conserving at the same time. And to that point, Santa Rosa Water, we turned off our Farmers Lane wells starting November 1st. So that will allow us to rest those wells, and we can turn those back on in spring if needed. Next slide, please. So here is our Lake Mendocino storage graph. As you can see, we got a great bump at the end of October because of this recent storm. But again, the reservoir is extremely low and still very low compared to the last handful of years. Next slide, please. This is Lake Sonoma. Again, a nice bump, and really took us off the path of reaching 100,000 acre feet, which we've talked about before, and allows us a little bit more room, and hopefully we continue to receive storms and that reservoir just keeps on growing. Next slide, please. So this is the Russian River diversion. The community, the water contractors have done a great job, including our Santa Rosa water customers, at achieving that 20% reduction every month compared to 2020. As you can see, we've achieved about a 23.5% reduction compared to our diversion in 2020. So it's exciting, and it's always great to see that our Santa Rosa water customers really respond to our request for conservation. Next slide, please. So we do continue to ask our customers to conserve, and certainly the fall and the winter will be no different. We are specifically targeting those who continue to have their irrigation on during the fall and the winter. Because of the wonderful investment that you all approved in our AMI system, we are able to see on a daily and hourly basis who is still irrigating. So we reached out to customers who were irrigating during the very last storm and encouraged them to turn their irrigation controller off. We also have developed posters that we're putting up at irrigation stores and hardware stores that encourage our contractor community to work with their customers to turn off their irrigation. And then, of course, we're encouraging indoor conservation. We have a bill snipe, which is going out, which is the messaging on the outside of the water bill. We have bill messaging that's still continuing. And of course, social media and radio continues. And all of those messaging is both in English and in Spanish. And then starting November 1st, the water use efficiency team is resuming our indoor audits. And so we are able to go into people's homes, properly mask, and conduct indoor audits with our customers. And that's really exciting because those have been suspended since March of 2020. So it's great to get back out there and really interact with customers indoors. And then obviously, as things have improved COVID-wise, we have been able to have a lot of in-person collaboration with our customers. So for example, we did 3 drought drop-bys this last year where customers could drive by and pick up a water saving kit. And we ended up distributing over 3,600 of those kits to our community members. We also recently partnered with Community Building Initiative Roseland, which is an organization based in Roseland. We handed out about 100 kits to primarily Spanish-speaking community members at the Roseland Library a couple of weeks ago during a Halloween trick-or-treating event. And then we also participated in Halloween at Howard. So you can see in the picture here, we've got a couple of good characters and Holly from our staff who handed out drought kits. And that was about 200 buckets that we handed out to customers. We've also got upcoming events. So we're going to be going to the farmers market in December. And then we're working on our workshop schedule for 2022 to ensure that we both have virtual opportunities for people who want to attend virtually, as well as having in-person workshops so that people can attend those and get that hands-on instruction. Next slide, please. So we are here to help. We still have our dedicated water use efficiency resources available at srcity.org/watersmart, or for drought updates and information about our drought, we have srcity.org/savewater. I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you very much. Any board member questions or comments for Ms. Nordley? Great, thank you for the update. At this time, we will take public comments on item 5.1. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Secretary Atha?
We have no public comments.
And no one in the chambers. Do we have any, I should have asked on the other one, do we have any live email or voicemail public comments?
We have no public comments.
Thank you. We'll now move to the consent calendar, item 6.1. We just have one item on the consent calendar. There's no board questions. We'll take a motion.
I'll move the consent calendar.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. We'll now open it up for public comments on item 6.1. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9. Secretary Atha?
We have no public comments.
And no live email or voicemail comments?
No.
Thank you. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Chair Galvin?
Aye.
Board Member Badenford?
Aye.
Board Member Grable?
Aye.
Board Member Watts?
Aye.
Board Member Wright?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll now move to item 7.3. Director Burke.
Thank you, Chair Galvin and members of the board. Item 7.3 is a report item, a recommendation to City Council to modify portions of City Code Title 14 related to our billing, and Alton, our Interim Chief Financial Officer, will be making the presentation.
Good afternoon, Chair Galvin and members of the board. The item before you is, as Director Burke said, a modification to the city's the city code. For a little background, our water and sewer billings occur in 8 different cycles. These cycles were developed to accommodate. Oh, next slide, please. Sorry about that. Were developed to accommodate manual meter reading. The schedule to read every meter in the city manually created a very complex schedule to accommodate both weekends and holidays. The other purpose of the cycles was to ensure accurate billing. The billing process after a meter is read is rather laborious. It's a lot of review of reports, looking for misreads or aberrations in water usage and other checks to make sure that the system is accurately calculating a bill and other control checks. So, and if necessary, to send staff out to retrieve another read off of that meter. The time, it's very time consuming, and having the 8 cycles provided us adequate time to complete these billing checks. Currently, the billing reads, which are the reads at the beginning and the end of a billing period, can run from 28 to 35 days. With the completion of AMI, we'll be able to now modify our billing periods because we do not have to manually read our meters anymore. So the first step that we're looking at is to create more consistent billing periods between 28 and 32 days, and billing cycles for each month, starting with cycle 1 and ending in cycle 8. Most of the periods will have 30 to 31 days for their period. And this has been a request from our customers for years because they've always been concerned that having a 35-day cycle during sewer cap setting in the winter. So next slide, please. So this shows our existing language in the city code, which we are proposing to change, and we'll go in the next slide and kind of get into the details of making the change. So next slide, thank you. So the reason for the changes to the city code will allow us to move forward with the consistency in billing periods. We're targeting January of 2022. All cycles will be billed one time during each calendar month. This will affect cycle 7 and 8. So in order to get to this schedule, we'll need to be, cycle 7 and 8 will need to be billed 13 times in 2021. And so that means that the meters will be read, sorry about that. Oh, Spain is calling, okay. I'm guessing that is a spam. So this will read the meters at the beginning and end of December. The billing periods will stay within the parameters of 28, 29 days, respectively, and the billing will be based on actual usage. So there should be no adverse financial impacts to the bills. Next slide, please. So what are the advantages of doing this? Well, one, I referenced before that sewer cap setting has contained billing periods at 35 days, and customers have been requesting that we don't allow them to be that long. This will help us make that change. We will also be looking to change how we calculate sewer caps in the future, trying to move towards all accounts being evaluated from the exact same time frame. But that is a system change that we're now exploring, and it will be a modification in our software. So that's a future task that we're looking at. I would also like to point out that customers now have a great tool available to them to track their own billing cycles and progressions of use in the WaterSmart portal. The portal allows our customers to see their hourly usage as well as set up customized notifications for when they go over an amount of use they specify. So the specific modifications, in the next slide please, we're requesting to basically remove the wording in the code that identifies billing 12 times per year, or that monthly is 12 times per year. So what we're looking at really is to specify that we are billing once monthly, and because we need to do the two cycles twice in December, which is 13 times, cannot do that for our current code. So this code will modify that and make that work. So with that, next slide, please. It's recommended by the Finance Department and the Santa Rosa Water that the Board of Public Utilities, by resolution, recommend that the City Council introduce an ordinance modifying Title 14, Potable and Recycled Water, of the City Code to modify the definition of billing period in Section 14-04-010B, delete the definition of monthly in Section 14-04.010G, and modify Section 14-04.140 to delete the wording 12 times a year and replace it with the requirement that the city renders bills monthly. And with that, I'm available for any questions, and I know that there are additional staff available to help me out just in case.
Thank you, Mr. Alton. Any board member questions or comments? Board member Wright?
Yes. Well, I'm very happy to see this thing coming to fruition. As a previous staffer and as a ratepayer, this has been an issue that's gone on and has caused a lot of consternation with many of our customers. And so I'm very happy that this is finally happening. Every month, everybody's bill will be read, I think, on the same time, and it'll always be the same. So you don't have to get those 35 days during the winter months. Anyway, so thank you very much, all the staff that worked on this. I know it's been a long and tedious project. It's been at least 10 years in the making to get the AMI up and running and the software going and all that kind of stuff. So I am very much in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Wright. Any other board member questions or comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
Well, I'll move that the BPU recommend the portable and recycled water code modifications as Alan designated in his presentation.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Wright and a seconded by Board Member Grable. At this time, we'll open it up to public comments on item 7.3. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Do we have anyone?
We have no public comments.
And do we have any Zoom or email or voicemail recorded?
No.
Thank you. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Chair Galvin,
Aye.
Board Member Badenford,
Aye.
Board Member Grable,
Aye.
Board Member Watts,
Aye.
Board Member Wright.
Aye.
Thank you very much. That'll take care of item 7.3. We'll now move on to item 8, which is public comments on non-agenda items. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Secretary Atha, do we have anyone?
We have no public comments.
And do we have any live email or voicemail comments?
No.
Very good. That'll take care of item number 8, public comments. We have no referrals. We have no written communications. Item 11 is a subcommittee report, and I will report on the meeting that we had of the Contract Review Subcommittee, which was on October 28th. We reviewed 3 agreements, all of which were unanimously recommended by the subcommittee. The first item was a second amendment to a professional services agreement with E&M Electric, DBA Wonderware, for professional technology services for the Laguna Treatment Plant SCADA unit. The amendment will provide for the installation of equipment to replace failing equipment and upgrades to the Wonderware software to combine the 2 SCADA systems of LTP and geysers. The contract will come before the board at a future meeting. The second item, which was on today's consent calendar, was a second amendment to a professional services agreement with TIV, to increase compensation by $100,000 to support the city's ongoing outreach efforts, including the multimedia drought campaign. The third item was a proposed professional services agreement with Montrose Air Quality for air emission monitoring at the Laguna Treatment Plant. The subcommittee recommended approval with the caveat that the staff provide additional information to the Board of Public Utilities regarding proposed changes to the insurance requirements in the contract. This item, including the additional information requested by the subcommittee, is scheduled to come before the board on November 18th. So I'll now open it up for public comments with regards to item 11. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Secretary Atha?
We have no public comments.
And no Zoom or email or voicemail?
No.
Very good. That'll take care of, I don't believe that we have any other subcommittee reports. Any board member reports? Seeing none, we'll move to the director's report. Director Burke?
Thank you, Chair Galvin and members of the board. I have a couple items to update the board on. The board may have seen through various media channels and or through emails that I have sent, very early this morning, our local operations crews responded to a report of a water main break at the intersection of Highway 12 and Middle Rincon. Upon arrival, our crews noticed a high volume of water flowing through the intersection and quickly worked to isolate the area of the water main. Our water staff, as they were mobilizing equipment, worked closely with the police department, Caltrans, and Public Works to initiate a road closure that included both lanes on eastbound Highway 12 and 1 lane in the westbound direction. The police department sent out a community alert and helped guide traffic away from the area. Additional road closures and detours were made to hopefully minimize traffic near the construction zone. And our team also worked very closely with our community outreach team to begin providing information to the community through radio, TV, and social media, as well as email. And our hope was to minimize traffic in the area and also make sure that the impacted schools in the area were informed. Our local operations crew quickly identified the failed location of the 10-inch cast iron water main and began digging through nearly 14 inches of asphalt and flooded base rock to make the repair. By 10 a.m., our crews had removed the 12-foot section of damaged pipe and they have replaced with a new section of pipe, and the 5 customers that were impacted have been returned to water service. Our risk management team was also on site by 9 a.m. this morning. Because of the large break and the high volume of water flow, there was some damage to surrounding properties. And so our risk management team is working with those businesses to address their concerns about any potential damage. And then in terms of the damage to the highway, we will be completing that with a contractor, and that repair should start tomorrow evening, and hope that the repair should be completed by Saturday afternoon. At this time, both westbound Highway 12 lanes are open to through traffic, and 1 eastbound lane is open. And we are hopeful that both eastbound lanes will be open very soon. So I just wanted to take a moment to recognize the crew that responded. It was about 1:30 this morning when they were called out, and they worked very quickly to get a lot of information out and really coordinated well to make sure that we were able to get this repair done as quickly as possible. So really appreciate the local operations crew. They did a great job. I also wanted to let the board know that earlier this week on the 1st, we shut down production of our Farmers Lane wells. The shutdown will allow the aquifer to recharge hopefully over the winter months, and will also give our operations team time to complete our annual maintenance on the wells as well as the water treatment plant. We are planning to start producing water from these wells in mid to late spring of 2022. However, we are continuing to coordinate closely with Sonoma Water and Regional Water Supply, and if there is a need for us to consider starting up the wells sooner, we will consider that. Both wells produced a total of 431 million gallons this season, and we are hopeful that we will see a same good rate of production next year. So just again, a lot of great work by our team keeping these wells operating throughout the entire season through some difficult times, because we did see with the dry conditions that our wells were a bit finicky this year. So we had to have a lot of additional work and almost operational management by our team, and they did a great job. Then last, I wanted to let the board know about where we are with our customer arrearages. As the board may recall, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the state, in particular the governor, through an emergency proclamation, required that we can no longer suspend water service during the pandemic emergency due to people not paying their bill. So we have implemented that since March of 2020. And even though we have continued to reach out to our customers and provided them multiple opportunities, we do have a number of customers that are behind in their bills, and roughly about $1.7 million of arrearages. The state has provided an opportunity for funding for water agencies to apply to get some of that funding covered through state grants. So Santa Rosa Water staff, as well as our water billing staff, have been working on the application to the state. At this point, we've been able to narrow it down to approximately 830 accounts that we will need to manually review. It takes about 20 minutes per account to do that manual review to determine the exact amount that we can apply for to be reimbursed. At this point, the first round of this funding only covers the water portion of the bill and will not cover the sewer portion of the bill. And we also have to limit the amount to the time period between March of 2020 through June of 2021. And we also have to back out any payments that were made by customers during that time period. So it's a very labor-intensive process, and there's a lot of manual work that we are having to do to get to the specific charges that are over 60 days past due during that defined period of time. The application is due November 30th, and our staff is working incredibly hard to ensure that we get that information turned in, and we are hopeful that we will get some amount of reimbursement for those charges, and that will be very helpful to our customers that are in arrears. We also recognize that that was through June of this year, and the suspension of turning off water services still continues. So we're anticipating there will be future rounds of funding that we can hopefully try to apply for, and also are hopeful that the future rounds of funding will also cover the sewer charges. So just wanted to let the board know where we are. We're continuing to follow that process and continuing to look for ways that we can help our customers who have some arrearages currently, and also looking at additional options and programs that might be able to help them. But this is one that is currently available that we're working really hard to get some reimbursement for the water department on. And that's my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Director Burke. Any board member questions or comments? Board member Grable.
Yeah, thank you for the thorough presentation, Director Burke. Just on the application of the state, our application is due November 30th. There doesn't have to be a significant outreach campaign to individual users, correct? To make sure that they don't have to apply. We're selecting who qualifies based on the data we have, correct?
So that is correct. For the state program, this is the agencies that are applying. There are also some other options that are out there, some local funding, and we have made that information available to our customers. So not only have we let them know, you know, we're reminding them to pay their bill if they can, but we're also letting them know that there are programs through rental assistance programs as well as others where they could also receive assistance. So we're pointing them to all known options that we are aware of, and plus we are going after any potential funding opportunities that the water department can apply for as well.
And the criteria for how we select which customers we can do some sort of reduction and or forgiveness, how do we assess that? What's the criteria?
So we don't have the ability to forgive the bills. So what we are doing right now is we are letting folks know of the programs that are available if they want to try to apply individually. And it's based on, my understanding is all these programs that are available through the pandemic are based on whether or not funding is available. There's also additional criteria for the individual customers. For the application that we're putting forward, it's very defined by the state. So it's any customers that are in arrears between the dates of March of 2020 through June of 2021 that are 60 days past due or greater. It's only the water portion of the bill, and then we have to deduct out if they made any payments. So we have to define which part is 60 days or greater overdue during that time period. And we're applying for all accounts that meet that criteria.
And that is to backfill our ratepayer revenues, and that's not passed on to those customers?
It would, my understanding is it would provide us the ability to pay. In essence, it'll benefit the customer, but it goes to the utility.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking, because you said we can't do forgiveness, but does that happen through, is there a pass through the state funding so that the customers, at least their debt is reduced to something manageable? There's a pathway there, right? Because I'm just thinking PG&E did something really similar that was really successful, but their marketing and outreach was terrible, honestly. I know that if that were to be the case with us, we would obviously do a really good job with that. You're saying we don't need to do that component. However, we do know that when someone's facing if they were unemployed or whatever, or their bill stacked up during the pandemic, right? typically there's like a threshold above which someone kind of gives up, and they're like, well, why would I pay $60 when I owe $600, right, or more? And at that point they just stop paying, right, which doesn't help anyone, even when they do become employed again or whatever, right? So I mean, I think what we want to get is to the point where the state can backfill our losses there, and we can help those customers come into a pathway for going forward. Okay, you can start paying your bill. We're not going to shut off your water. We know there's this debt amount. We're working on different revenue sources. We're also offering assistance with finding other assistance resources like the rental assistance, the PG&E funds and the ARPA funds that are all going into those different individual applicant-based assistance programs, right? But then on our side, we also just want our ratepayers not to be scared to just start paying again, not thinking they have to pay the whole amount all at once, because even though you've got a job again, doesn't mean all of a sudden you've got $1,000 extra to pay a back bill, right? I mean,
Yes, so all good comments, and let me clarify if I was not clear. I apologize for that. So we can't provide forgiveness with our ratepayer dollars. That's the funding that we have. So with the state program, this will basically allow us to relieve the debt for those accounts that comply. Now, that's only the water portion of the bill. That's not the sewer portion. So if they have a sewer portion outstanding, that's still going to be outstanding. We have done a number of things. We have not been charging delinquent fees this whole time. We have been taking any type of payment plan that our customers are interested in providing. We continue to do monthly calls, automated calls, to remind them about the bill and encourage them to either take advantage of any small amount that they can pay, and we'll work with them, or looking to provide information on various other opportunities that could assist them. In addition, we are, working through the city manager and the chief financial officer. We are tracking this information, and if there's a way that we can potentially have some assistance through ARPA funds or other funds, we're looking at those options as well. So we're looking at every opportunity that we can to have an additional funding source that could alleviate these back bills for folks. I will say, yes, there are some that have built up quite a bit of bills. There are some that, for just some reason, they just didn't even know. I mean, sometimes these are commercial accounts where they're like, oh, thanks for telling us, and they paid their bill. And we are seeing folks that are making small payments. And so we do really appreciate that. We're definitely here to help our customers and try to get them back to being in a good status in terms of paying their bill.
Awesome. That definitely answers my question. And I don't know if there's another, and maybe you're already doing this, but the other component that I thought was really successful with PG&E was that they basically said, your unpaid, your debt, your delinquent amount up until June 2021, right? For instance, whatever the grant, the application from the state says, right? Is this already a part of it, or is there an opportunity to say to a customer, okay, we obviously want you to start paying your monthly bill going forward. Can you please start paying your monthly bill, without necessarily, that amount coming up? If there's a way to message or communicate, like, the total past due amount, right? Like, we understand that's difficult, and we'll work with you on that. But in the meantime, we really want customers to just start paying the monthly bill that they are consuming. So PG&E, what they did is they said, if they were able to do forgiveness because of different revenue sources, and they're a public utility, but obviously a little different in terms of their legal obligations and stuff. But they said, they basically forgave all past bills for certain customers who asked for it during the pandemic, but said you're required to, pay your bill on time and going forward. And it created a path to compliance, but also, what generally speaking is probably a better model going forward for how to, get folks out of delinquency into regular rate payments on time again, so that you're not just having people dig holes deeper or getting their water turned off, because, you know, that's obviously not a great safety thing either. Is, you know, all of those things. But I thought it was interesting how PG&E dealt with that, and just said, okay, here's the start point, but you got to pay your monthly bill on time going forward. And so they did it where they said, for the first 12 months after forgiveness, you've got to pay your bill on time every month.
So we are, Board Member Grable, exploring different options. We had hoped that we had more clear definition of the funding opportunities from the state. It's taken a little bit longer than we were hoping. I think we were also kind of hoping that the pandemic would be in a different state than we still are today. But we have been exploring options and are looking at something very similar to what you describe of, you know, once we understand sort of all the funding options that are available, once we know when we basically have the tool back to be able to shut off water. It's not something that, you know, we are looking to do, but honestly, it's a really great way to get customers' attention. And so we found that that has served us well. Even, for example, with our backflow program, when we started doing information saying, hey, you need to be in compliance or we'll shut your water off, it's amazing how quickly, and we went from 1,000 folks who were just ignoring us to pretty much everyone in compliance. So we understand and recognize that that does help us with really just communicating with our customers. And so we are looking at potential options, including could we basically determine at a point in time, and we'd bring this forward to both the board and the council. We know we'd have to work with you on that, but at a point in time where we say, okay, this is now sort of, they're delinquent, and we'll kind of figure out ways that we can help them pay that off, and then going forward, they kind of start with the new bills and keeping those current. So we are considering that as an option as well.
Yeah, that's starting. I think that's starting point. Some sort of a fresh start type of would be really. I think that would work well. Yeah.
Yes, and so we are looking at that. And again, I just, you know, again, if we're able to that, we will need to find a different funding source to assist with the delinquencies. So because we don't have the ability with our ratepayer dollars to forgive. So we're looking at all those options.
Board Member Wright, did you have a question or comment?
Thank you. My comments were answered.
Any other board member questions or comments for the director? All right, we're now taking public comments on item 13. If you wish to make a comment via Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Secretary Atha?
We have no public comments.
And no Zoom, email, or voicemail comments?
No.
Very good. That concludes the agenda for today's meeting. So we will next meet on November the 18th. So we will adjourn the meeting. Have a good rest of your afternoon.